Good evening, it's Gilly from Wanderer's Path, and I thought I would share with you a personal story for my Let's Talk About Ghosts series. And this one happened maybe about 10 years ago, and it happened during the day and at night, and there were kind of witnesses, and it happened while I was at work. And so how this story happened was I work as a reablement support officer with the local council, and it means visiting people at the premises where they live. And sometimes it's just one person that goes, and sometimes there are two of us that go, often called a double up call. And the story in question relates to a double up call where myself and a colleague were going to attend to this lady that lived in a bungalow not too far from where I live. So I used to get to the premises first, and I would wait in my car until my colleague arrived, and then we would proceed to go into the house together. So I drew up to the house. The very first day this lady started with us, I drew up to the house. I was the first to arrive, and I waited for my colleague, and I was about 15 minutes early. So I thought, okay, well, I've got a magazine. I can sit in the car and read it. And I happened to glance at the house, and there was a man standing in the window, which I didn't think anything of. I just got my magazine and I read it, and then my colleague arrived and we went into the house, we attended to the lady, we sat and had a chat, then we left. And we went to visit this lady 3 times a day. So later on that day, I was back with the same colleague. Again, I arrived first and pulled up at the house, waited about 10 minutes before my colleague arrived. Man was standing in the window, and I kind of glanced at him and I thought to myself, he's going to think, I wonder if he thinks I'm suspicious, or does he think I'm dodgy because he keeps watching me? But again, I didn't think anything of it. And then my colleague came, and together we went into the house, tended to the lady, and back home. And to save repeating myself, this happened quite a lot. Morning when when I visited, noon, and in the sort of on the bed call, and this kept happening over and over. Now, when we were inside the premises, we would talk to the lady. There was only the lady living here, and again, I didn't think anything of it, because sometimes when you do calls like this, if members of the family live in the premises, they either leave and go out, or they go into another room. So it's not unusual for the service user of the support workers to have that privacy. So again, I drove up, and again the man was there. I'd read my book, my magazine, or whatever, and this started to sort of think to me, why don't I see this man when I'm in the house? And I thought, well, maybe he's in the garden, or maybe he goes out. Bear in mind that, to get out, he would kind of have to pass us coming in. But again, you don't think of it because you're focused on the job. Now, one day I turned up with another colleague, and this other colleague, like me, is sensitive. And again, I arrived early. Again, the man in the window was watching, and then my colleague arrived, and we walked into the property. And my colleague, she said to me, I've got goosebumps. I really have the creeps in this house. I says, oh, right. I says, well, it isn't. It's old. It needs a lot of work done. And we went in to see this client, this service user. So we got talking, and she needed some dressings for a wound. So she said to me, they're in the other bedroom. Now, the other bedroom, because it was a bungalow she lived in, the other bedroom I was going to go into, was where the window was in which I saw the man standing, because that's the window my car was parked out of. So I went into the bedroom to get these dressings, and all there was boxes of medical dressings and latex gloves. There was no bed, no furniture, nothing in this room, and I'm thinking, there's kind of a stirring going on in my head, and I'm thinking, this is weird. The man stands at the window, he looks onto my car, why is this room empty? And I thought, I'm beginning to suspect here. So I took the dressings, went back in, and I spoke to the service user and I said, do you not fancy moving into the bigger room, because there would be more room for you in your bed and surely it would be more comfortable? And she says, oh no, she says, no love. She said, my husband passed away in that room. He passed away 6 months ago. So the light went on and I'm thinking, right. So we came out and my colleague and friend looked at me. I looked at her and she said, I wonder if that's why I've got the goosebumps. So I told her what had been going on for the last 3 or 4 weeks with me pulling up and seeing this figure. And I said, it's weird. I said, because the window I see the figure in is the window to the room I went in, the room he died in. And I said to her, I don't understand. Why am I seeing him? Why is he appearing? I didn't know. So a couple of nights later, I had been on call this day and I was called out to do this lady. So I drove to the service user's house and I got there. And this time I decided to back onto a drive, reverse in. And it was really narrow. You're talking about a foot either side to gauge your car. So we're using my when I reverse, I use my mirrors. I don't turn round because I can't turn round properly. So I use my mirrors. So I was using my mirrors to reverse, and there was a man walking beside my car as I was reversing, and I'm saying, look, you're going to have to get out of the way. I'm not being rude, but if you don't get out of the way, you're going to get hit, because I can't manoeuvre the car into this narrow space with you there. He just carried on walking. So I thought, well, I'm going to reverse, he'll move. And I reversed in. He was still by the side of me. And I'm thinking, some people just don't listen. And I got out of the car and there was nobody there. There was nothing. And then my friend and colleague arrived. So it kind of like, instantly you forget it, because in healthcare you think of something but your focus is on the service user, so that's why things come in and out of your head. So I went into the call. I did the call with my friend and colleague, and the lady was quite agitated. She wasn't feeling too well, and then we came out. So I told my colleague what had happened, and she said, well, where's that chap gone? I says, I don't know where the chap's gone. Where has he gone? He was walking by the side of the car. I was reversing because I could see him in the wing mirror. I could see him as clearly as I could see, like, a friend of mine, my friends, you know what I mean? I could see him as clearly as I saw another person, and he was in the wing mirror of the car. And I'm thinking, you're a bit thick. You won't move. But never mind, I got the car in, I got the car out, and I'm keeping thinking, why am I seeing this person? Why is he coming in? Why does he follow? Why did he? And it was the same person that I saw in the window, like following me as I reversed the car. So the next day, I was going into the city centre, and I was with my husband, because it was, 10 years before my husband died. And I bumped into this colleague and friend. So she says, hi, Ken, hi, Jill, because she knew both of us. And she said, have you heard what's happened to Mrs. And I'll just call her Mrs. X, which is the client. I says, no, she went into hospital late last night and passed away. And I'm like, what? And then I'm thinking, she said again, she's passed away. And then I'm thinking, oh my God. That's why I saw this man, and that's why he walked beside my car as I was going in, because he was walking. I was reversing the car into the drive where the house was, and he was walking into the house. He was walking in to collect her, to start that process of collection. Also, I kept seeing him in the window, and it was only then I realised why. He was coming back because her time was near and he was waiting for her. Now, I am telling you the truth. This is the truth. This happened exactly as I explained it. And it's in the job I do, I often get a lot of paranormal things like this. And I just thought I'd share that with you because I questioned why I kept seeing this figure. And it was a man, and it was a husband, and he was coming back to her, because from starting seeing him until she died, it was a matter of weeks, probably no more than 6 weeks. And the night before she died, he was walking alongside my car, and I could see him in the wing mirror. And it was because he was going to collect her, because she went into hospital a few hours later and died. So I thought I'd share that, because I don't have answers to that. And that's why I sit on the fence with this. So I hope you've enjoyed that. And thanks for watching. Thanks for watching, and blessed be.